Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post, and I'm joined this evening by one of the newest faces in One Championship, my fellow Canadian, Jon Di Bella. John, it's great to finally be chatting with you. We've been kind of going back and forth for a little while and trying to make this happen, and here we are. How's everything going?
Hey man, good you?
I mean, life's good, man. Life's good. Happy to be talking to you. It's obviously a very exciting time for you. You have a huge fight coming up in, like 15 days or something at this point.
Yeah.
You're fighting Zhang Peimian for the vacant one championship strawweight kickboxing title on October 21st in Kuala Lumpur. Uh, how are you feeling as this fight gets closer?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm just I'm ready already. I'm just starting to cool down now.
Mhm.
Everything's set. Can't wait to fight.
Awesome, man. Well, as I said, I was before we started recording. I was exchanging some messages with your dad a while ago, and it sounds like this has kind of been in the works for a while. Like, I mean, when did you actually sign with one, and how long has this fight sort of been in the works?
Yeah, I signed with one right before the pandemic hit. So that's why I haven't been fighting for one. For 2 years, nothing was going on. And I found out about this fight in late August. So I had time to prepare.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to use the word frustrating because, of course, it was nobody's fault. But how difficult was it for you to sign with such a big promotion and then have to wait all this time to get going with them?
Yeah, it was hard, man. It was difficult, but like I made the best out of it. So I just kept on training and kept on training and being patient. I think patience finally paid off, and
Hmm.
it's time now. So I'm ready now.
Definitely, man. Were you watching One Championship much before you signed with them? Like, were you familiar with the organization?
Of course, as soon as they put out kickboxing, I had my eye on it from a while back.
Cool. Well, huge fight, but you are going to be a new face to a lot of people watching One Championship, of course, because it is your debut. So, I mean, just for the people that don't know you, who aren't familiar with you, how did you get into kickboxing? And kind of, can you give me a quick crash course on your journey so far?
Yeah, man. My dad was a former three-time kickboxing world champion, and I started training kickboxing when I was 2 years old, and slowly started my amateur fights at 10 years old, and kept on fighting, kept on fighting, kept on fighting. And in 2016, I made my pro debut in Brooklyn, New York, and just kept on fighting in New York scene in North America, and won the ISK North American title in 2018, and fought for glory, won 5 fights with glory, and now I'm here, one championship.
Very cool. And just quickly, we're talking about your background. You did some boxing matches in Montreal this summer too, right?
Yeah, I did. Just to
What
stay
was that
active.
like?
It was cool, man. I needed to fight. I needed to fight inactivity for for the last 3 years. So I needed to get to feel the ring and just to fight, man. I needed to fight, and it felt good.
This is probably a dumb question, but it's one I ask people all the time when they're jumping between rule sets. I mean, especially going from kickboxing to boxing, it must have been hard in the fight. Like, you must have seen kicks there, right? That you just can't
Yeah,
throw.
I
Was
seen
that
all
difficult?
the openings. I seen like your legs there, your body's open, your head's open for the kicks. But I've been boxing. I've been practicing my boxing since a young age as well. So I've been sparring high level boxers when I was a young kid. So
Very cool, man. Well, enough about the past. Let's look to the future here. As I said, you have a huge fight coming up with Zhang Peimian, who's very highly regarded, a very dangerous guy from China. What do you know about this guy?
I saw him when I saw him fight Josh Tana. Um, I had my eyes on him, and I knew I was going to end up fighting him as soon as he beat Tana, and I kept preparing myself. He was the guy I was going to face next, and I've just been watching his last fight. Saw he did well, and here I am facing him.
Mhm. So he's had two fights in one so far. I mean, what do you think of him? How do you rate him as an opponent? I mean, does when you watch his fights, does it make you nervous? Does it make you excited? I mean, how do you feel heading into the fight with this guy?
Makes me excited, very excited.
Okay.
Um, I know he's number one in the world right now, so I'm very excited. I signed up for the sports to compete with the highest level. So I'm not here to play. I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight everybody.
hmm at this level, of course, everybody is good at everything. But I mean, are there any things that he does that you think he really does well that you need to be careful of?
He does a lot. He does everything well. He's a well-rounded fighter. So yeah, I just gotta be careful. Everybody has everything. Anything can happen in a fight. So just protect yourself at all time and um, put a show on for everybody. Put a show for the fans.
Mhm. I think it's definitely going to be a show. I've watched lots of tape on both you guys. You're both amazing fighters. It's going to be incredible, I think. Now, obviously, you don't want to give too much away about your game plan and whatnot, but have you spotted things in his game that you feel like you're going to be able to expose on the night?
Yeah, we'll see on fight night. I can't
Okay,
wait.
maybe got some surprises up your sleeve.
Nah, no fight. Just fight just to fight like what I usually do, and let everything happen. No, not looking for nothing. No looking for knockouts. Not looking. Just going to fight.
So is that how you always do it? I mean, fight to fight, you're not focused on one particular result. You're just going in there and seeing what happens.
Yeah, because in a fight, like you when you enter a fight, like you could expect like things like oh, I didn't plan, I didn't know this was he was gonna do this, I didn't know he was gonna do that. So I'm prepared for everything. You have to be
Mhm.
prepared for anything in a fight. You can't just prepare for one thing. You prepare for multiple things.
Mhm. So do you do most of your training in Montreal, or are you going back down to New York to do some training as well?
Uh,
Or
well, I do my training in Montreal, and we go spar in New York as well, and also Florida, and Miami.
okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, this is your one championship debut. It's a big fight for that reason, and of course, there's a title on the line as well. You seem like the kind of guy who deals with pressure well, but what kind of pressure are you feeling heading into this fight?
No pressure. It's just a regular fight at the end of the day. The belt is just a bonus, and I always had my eyes on this belt, and I believe I was going to be world champion in kickboxing since I was a little kid. So it's finally going to happen.
hmm this card is coming together really nicely. They've got two cards back to back again, and they're both looking really good. The one you're on, I mean, if you look at the rest of the cards, you've got Nikki Holskin fighting, Sidichai is fighting, who's of course a legend in Muay Thai, and you're on top of these guys in the main event. I mean, how does it feel to be headlining a card over some of these legends of the striking arts?
Yeah, man, I grew up watching most of them, you know. And also, Sidichai, I used to fight when I fought in Glory. He was the main event, and I was in the prelims, and now it's the opposite. So
hmm
I'm honored for that.
Did you ever get to meet him when you were competing for glory together?
Yeah, I met him at the weigh-ins.
Nice. So maybe you can catch up with him at this card
Yeah,
in KL.
I didn't speak Thai, but
Of course. Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. Well, that's very cool, man. Have you been to Asia before?
yeah, I've been to Thailand.
Okay, but never to KL, I take it?
No,
Cool, cool. Are you excited about about fighting in Malaysia? That must be very
yeah,
cool
man,
for you.
it's they love kickboxing, so I'm looking forward to putting on a show.
One championship, of course, based in Singapore, but before the pandemic was, really expanding all over Asia, had events in Japan, Philippines, you name it. Is there anywhere in Asia that you'd just as a traveler really like to visit?
Singapore, actually, I would
Mhm.
like to go to Singapore.
Cool. Well, they certainly when they do their home shows in Singapore, I can tell you, having been to their events there, they're usually pretty exciting, pretty spectacular events to be at. So hopefully you can get on one of those soon.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully.
yeah, man. The title obviously is just around the corner for you. Presuming it goes your way. You mentioned that you've been training since you were 2 years old. You had your amateur fights when you're 10. This has been a long journey for you. How good is it going to feel to win that title after everything you've been through?
It's gonna feel good, man, and it's gonna mean that the world to me. Me and my dad, we've been working hard. Nobody knows how hard we work. You know, we just
Mhm.
work every day. We train every day. We go. He takes me to spar everywhere, and we train with high level guys, but we put in very hard work. So it's gonna feel really good.
Mhm. At the end of the day, obviously, this is a team sport in some ways, but really at the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself. You're the only one in there, but I know you do have a really tight relationship with your dad, and he's trained you through your whole career. I mean, what do you think this moment's going to mean for him?
It's gonna mean for him a lot good too. You know, it's gonna mean he's gonna be really happy. You know, he started me out since I was 2. You know, we never left each other. We always stood together, and we
Mhm.
it's gonna mean a lot for him.
Is he the kind of guy to shed some tears of joy in the cage, or?
Maybe backstage.
All right, cool, cool. I wanted to ask you too. One championship now is giving out $50,000 bonuses. Now, that's a lot of money in my book. I mean, what would it mean to you to win that kind of money with the belt and your one championship debut?
Yeah, it would mean a lot, man. But I'm not looking for any bonuses in this fight. I'm looking to just to win. You know,
hmm
I just want to win this belt. The belt means more to me right now.
hmm
But the $50,000 bonus it's a bonus. You know what I mean? It's a plus. Um, I appreciate that Chatri did this for all the fighters in one because not many organizations that do this. You know, so
hmm
especially with kickboxing, nobody gets that much money in a bonus. So it's very cool that they do this.
Definitely. With that exchange rate, it's even sweeter in Canada,
Yeah,
right? You bring that money back, it's a little bit more.
yeah.
Speaking of, you mentioned Chatri a moment ago. Have you had the chance to meet Chatri in person yet, or anybody on the
Not
one
yet,
championship team?
not yet. No, I haven't met him yet, but looking forward to meeting him in KL.
Cool, cool. Well, we can start wrapping things up here. I know you're very focused on this fight, obviously, but have you given any thought to what might be next? Like, have you kind of sized up the other contenders in your weight class at all?
Yeah, so like as soon as like I see everybody fighting in my weight class, I look at everybody and um, I'm fighting Zhang next, so I'm only thinking about him right now.
Mhm. Fair enough. One championship has obviously, only been promoting kickboxing for a couple of years now, been 4 or 5 years, I think. And they've accomplished a lot in that time, but there are other kickboxing organizations out there. Do you think, one is the destination now for kickboxing in the world? Like, are the best kickboxers in the world all in one championship?
100%. Yeah. Right now, it's one championship has the best kickboxers on the planet.
Very cool, man. Well, let's wrap it up with this huge fight coming up. I'm very excited to watch it. I'm sure you're very excited to get in there and fight. I know you're not fixating on particular results, but is there any way you'd like to end this one? Any way you'd like it to end?
No, I just want to win the fight. I believe it's gonna be a war, and just gotta do my best and come out on top.
And is it going to be surreal at all if it goes your way? You're getting that belt wrapped around you. I mean, it's going to be a very sweet moment after everything you've been through. But is it going to be a
Yeah,
little bit hard to wrap your head around?
it's gonna feel good, man. Yeah, I can't wait.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate the time. I know I said that was the last question, but I like to wrap things up by letting you, address your fans. Anything you want to say to your supporters before I let you go?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who support me everywhere in New York, Montreal, Italy, everywhere. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, everybody, and thank you to you.
My absolute pleasure, man.